Yes, sir.
Let's head to the stadium for all the action.
This is Hoppers Baseball. Jamar Perkins joined by Ethan Alexander. I want to apologize. A mix-up between a broadcast. If you were just listening to the Reds baseball game, we are switching over to our local programming here, the Hoptown Hoppers. As currently the score, though, is 7-6. Reds have shrunk the lead a bit. So 7-6 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. As there is 7-6 the ball game, but we will check in on the Hoppers and our dugout show from which is brought to you by the Barbecue Shack, offering catering and custom cooking. Visit them Wednesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., 4687 Pembroke Road in Hopkinsville. When we come back, we'll hear from Hopper head coach E.J. Davari.
Radio WHOP.
And welcome back. A final score for the Reds. The Braves bashed 4 homers to snap the Reds' 12-game winning streak. A 7-6, the final score there. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break and check our game time weather, brought to you by Charlie Henderson, State Farm. And welcome back to the Hoppers game here, as they are set to host the Paducah Chiefs in a rematch from yesterday's ball game. The Chiefs defeated the Hoppers 7-6. A reminder, too, if you were listening to Reds baseball and got cut off, we apologize, as the Braves did end up defeating the Hoppers 7-6. But we want to go ahead and check our starting lineups, brought to you by Reichen Elastomers. Join the Reichen Elastomers team with process operator starting pay at over $18 an hour and an excellent benefit package that includes employee paid benefits. Call 270-475-2150, extension 214 to learn more. First for the Chiefs, Sammy Kestranek playing out of the shortstop position. Then Will Gibbs will play first base, batting second. Then left fielder Gunnar Bingham. That's a player to watch for this Chiefs lineup. Braden Frassman, the designated hitter, will bat fourth. Fifth will be Javier Beal. Then Gage Griggs will bat out of third base in the sixth spot. Seventh spot will be Brim Brombaugh, and coming out of center field. And eighth batter will be Nate Lang out of right field. And behind the plate at catching, batting in the ninth spot will be Austin Kreider. For the Hoppers, pitching on the mound will be Balin White. Also, catcher will be Reed Douglas. First baseman, Miggy Villalobos. And then playing out of second base will be Sam Perkins. The third baseman will be Carter Hood. Shortstop will be Artem Logbanov. And then Luis Vergara will be coming out of left field. Stephen Bell out in center. And in right field, a common starter has proven himself to be in this lineup. It's Robert Estrada coming out of right field. As I mentioned, Balin White, and if you were listening to the Dugout Show, you heard Coach Tavari mention that this will actually be Balin White's last game, as he is one of those players in the OVO that only spent half of the season in the league. But while we have the time, Ethan, I want you to kind of discuss with me. I wasn't there, but I was able to watch at home. From what you saw last night's game, this is a rematch against the Paducah Chiefs. They beat us yesterday. What did you notice in that game?
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs did a great job of jumping on the Hoppers early, scoring 3 runs in that first inning. But the rest of the game was very close, back and forth contest. The Hoppers outscored the Chiefs in the last 8 innings 4-3, but the Hoppers did a very good job of getting guys on base. Way more runs through that lineup than the Chiefs saw, but they couldn't quite get it done when they needed to. They left loaded bases several times, and so there's just a little bit of a disconnect. When they get themselves in a good position, they kind of find themselves throwing it away at times. So tonight they're probably looking to do a similar thing, but kind of follow all the way through with it.
Base running was a key that Coach Davari had mentioned as something to improve on today. And as we are set to start the ball game here, first up to bat, Sammy Kastranik. That first pitch swing will be a fly there towards Reed Douglas, and he can't make the grab. It goes in the glove and out. A tough start, but have to bounce back from that. That opening pitch and first swing is brought to you by Rapid RX Pharmacy, located on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville. Looking for a new pharmacy? Let the friendly staff at Rapid RX Pharmacy help you. And so now an 0-1 count quickly. And a tough catch there from Douglas as it hit the glove, just popped out as soon as it made contact. So he was in the right spot, as that is a foul ball. So 2 quick swings from Kastranik make it an 0-2 count. Oh-2 is high there. And Ethan, you caught the game yesterday too. Was Kastranik a player that was in the lineup?
Yeah, Kastranik was the leadoff yesterday for him too, and he had 2 or 3 hits in that game. Started him off strong in that first inning, had a single to get things started in that big first inning for Paducah. And like I said, I think he had 2 or 3 hits throughout the game, so a solid player yesterday for Paducah.
A 2-2 count now. And that's a strikeout looking there as it clips the outside corner. And now 1 out here. Will Gibbs is at the plate for the Chiefs. Again, just started things if you're just now joining us here in the top of the first inning. First pitch also hits that corner for a strike. Breaking ball there. Second one. That's an inside strike there. Working the plate here is Balin White. The 0-2 pitch, that is fouled and goes behind the Hoppers dugout. So an 0-2 count still. Balin White on the mound. The pitch, the 0-2, that one's outside. And Jackson McTire comes from the same school as Balin White, so as that's a fly ball towards center, and it'll be fielded there by Stephen Bell.
Today's actually Stephen Bell's 19th birthday as well, so happy birthday to him.
So now 2 outs here. Gunnar Bingham, a left-handed batter. And Bingham, known for his hitting skills, as he is a powerful left-handed batter. That's first pitch is outside for a ball, so 1-0 count.
Yeah, Bingham, the player who hit the walk-off single yesterday to win it for Paducah.
Swing and a miss there. Makes it a 1-1 count. Bingham is 11 of his last 22 in his at-bats. And he'll foul one near the pole behind home plate, the left pole to be exact. So 2 outs here. Bingham at the plate, and we're looking at a 1-2 count here. Pitch from White is low and inside to even the count at 2 apiece. The 2-2 pitch. And that's another strikeout looking there. Just a bit inside for out number 3 in the top of the first for the Chiefs. There was no hits, no errors, none left on base, and no runs scored as we head to the bottom of the first inning as the Hoppers will look to bat. Starting off, it'll be Reed Douglas and Stephen Bell. After that, Luis Vergara. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard. No scores yet, 0-0. This is Hopper Baseball brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
WHOP.
And welcome back here. Just about started things here. Done with a top of the first. And the Hoppers are now set to bat. And it'll be Reed Douglas starting things off. Pitching for the Chiefs is Jack Bell.
Yeah, and I'll mention this, the last 2 games, we saw a little bit of a switch up as far as what coaches were standing at what bases. The last home game, Coach Davari was at third and Coach Reed was at first. Last night, Coach Davari was at third and Coach Benny was at first. And tonight, Coach Reed's at third and Coach Benny's at first. Davari not out there. So I guess trying to, do something similar to these players coming out here and developing their skills too, making sure they get an even part of the distribution of who actually is out there on the field.
That's something he doesn't really get talked about a lot, too, as the first pitch is thrown. That's a high pitch for a ball, a bit outside as well. As you talk about most of these coaches are doing their own coaching in college, and, just like anything, you can improve in things. So this is also kind of developing and helping coaches as well, as that's a strike call. Davari, a younger coach, and, of course, Coach Reed as well. And so this is a opportunity for them to get some extra coaching under their belt as well. A 1-1 count. That ball is fouled. That'll make it a 1-2 count. That ball went just a bit behind the Hoppers' bleachers by third base.
And the whole coaching staff this year is younger than what we're used to seeing. So I'm sure they're all looking to develop out here.
1-2 pitch is fouled there, going near the bullpen, and it lands inside by the fence. First baseman for the Hoppers, for the Chiefs, couldn't get there. So a 1-2 count here. Reed Douglas at the plate. The pitch is high there, making it a 2-2 count. High fastball there. So a 2-2 count now. The pitch. And that ball's inside as Douglas turns the shoulder a bit. Full count now to the right-handed batter. The pitch from Bell. That's fouled off.
And Reed Douglas right now, a good at-bat. I was going to mention how yesterday some of the best at-bats I've seen from the Hoppers this season came in the top of the 9th inning, specifically from Chase Cummings and Luis Vergara. And they just fought for, a long time. I think Luis fouled it off 7 or 8 times before he got a hit.
Full count. That ball is hit high in the short infield, left center or left field, you could say. And that's going to be an out as the center fielder does come and track it down there, as that was Brombaugh. But ball caught in left field.
But to continue on that, it's, if these coaches can kind of communicate to these guys that they need to have at-bats like that throughout the entirety of a game and not just, in crunch time at the end, this team will be in a much better situation.
And first pitch swing from Stephen Bell will be chopped to second. The throw is in time there for the second out. Stephen Bell out there. Now Luis Vergara coming out of left field will be batting. A right-handed batter. Hoppers wearing their black uniforms with the white pinstripes and red lettering. The Chiefs wearing their red uniforms, more like a close, I'd say, a crimson red, maybe a little lighter with the black lettering and gray pants. Hoppers wearing the white pants. First pitch, breaking ball, hits outside for a strike to Vergara.
I will say I'm not sure if Paducah has multiple of the same jersey, but these look like the same jerseys they wore yesterday.
I'm hoping not. Obviously, I'm assuming that they were washed, but that's some tough work for whoever had to wash those clothes and flip them for today.
That quick, right.
Swing and a miss. I will say one thing I did not like, which I'm not sure if it's a communication thing or a plan, is I was watching the broadcast and both teams were wearing red. You know, that's one of the things I was like, I don't really like when both teams wear the same color, especially for you if you're calling a game. It could get confusing at sometimes.
Yeah, I mentioned that. You know, the Hoppers, I know they choose what they're going to wear the next day on the bus when they get back home, so just no communication, I would assume.
2-2 pitch is grounded near third, but a nice field there. The throw is in time. A nice heads-up play there from Griggs, and that will do it for the Hoppers batting in the bottom of the first inning. As it was a 3 up, 3 down there, no hits, no errors, none left on base, and no runs scored. We head to the top of the second inning, checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard. Looking for a job, visit Manpower on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville today. Let them connect you with a great position where you can start tomorrow. The score, still scoreless here, 0-0. This is Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And welcome back here. Top of the second inning, still scoreless as the Hoppers are taking on the Paducah Chiefs here inside Colonel Field. Balin White pitching for the Hoppers. Up to bat, Braden Frassman.
Frassman yesterday playing right field, a fantastic throw at the top of the ninth inning to keep the Hoppers from scoring. Throw to home that tagged out Artem Logvinov.
First pitch was a ball. Second one goes above the head there of Frassman to make it 2 balls now. So a 2-0 count. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed there to make it 2-1.
I will mention about Frostman. I believe he struck out his first 2 or 3 at-bats yesterday.
And a second swing and a miss there makes it a 2-2 count. Braden Frostman is coming from Lincoln Trail College. An outside pitch there makes the count full just outside there. Attracts some oohs and ahs. Frostman originally from Okina, Ohio. Full count pitch is swung on and missed there for a strikeout. First out here in the second inning for the Chiefs. Now Javier Beal. And now I see a Christian Beal. in the Chiefs lineup. I was a bit confused. Not sure if Christian is Javier. Same last name.
Yeah, I think they are, because yesterday number 24 played, and I had it down as a Christian Beal, possibly a middle name there. Goes by Javier.
Back-to-back strikes with no swings here. 0-2 count. First one was inside. Second was outside. The 0-2 pitch is fouled, and that'll go in the stands, or no. Hits the pole right in front of the stands and goes just behind them. That was the visiting bleachers. Bit scary there, though. 0-2 count still. And that's a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here. And a nice start in the inning for White.
Yeah, and I don't want to jinx him. He's pitching well right now. He had a very good first outing, and I can't remember what game that was in when he pitched first, but it was earlier this season, near one of the first few games at home, and then struggled last weekend in Louisville. Gave up a couple home runs, didn't pitch very long.
0-2, that's a high pitch.
But he's off to a much better start tonight so far, but again, knock on wood.
Gage Griggs is at the plate. He made that nice third base play in the last inning. That's a foul ball to the screen by the dugout for the Hoppers. So 1-1 count now. And the Griggs is coming from John A. Logan College. And a chopper there fouled on the home plate. Makes it a 1-2 count. So 2 outs here, still scoreless in the top of the second inning.
Griggs with some big hits yesterday, was part of that big first inning for Paducah.
And that ball will go towards second. It's fielded, though. Perkins bobbles it a bit as he was able to get in front of it. That was going right up the line.
Yeah, and you see that a lot when those balls get fielded towards the back of the dirt and not closer to the grass whenever it's harder to grab. Because as soon as it hits it, it starts bouncing considerably higher. We saw some of that yesterday, I think, and I can't put my finger on who it was, but hit a well-hit ball and jumped right over the shortstop for Paducah yesterday. Similar situation.
So base hit there from Griggs. Brombaugh is at the plate. First pitch is low for a ball. So runner on first here with 2 outs for the Chiefs. And batting for Paducah, Ben Brombaugh. They'll throw over to first. Try to tag Griggs. He's it back in time. The pitch is fouled. That ball will go behind the bleachers next to the Hopper dugout by first base. So a 1-1 count now. Bit of a sunnier game here. The last 2 games we've done at home have been very cloudy. As that'll be another foul ball there, making it a 1-2 count now from Brombaugh.
Yeah, and this area needed some rain, but now that the rain has come and gone, we are facing some humid climate, so we haven't had to face so far this year. We faced some heat, but this is definitely the stickiest it's felt outside, I would say.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like July, I feel like, as they're going to try to steal second. The throw from Douglas is a bit high there, can't get there. As Perkins came from second and had to jump up for that one. So Griggs will steal for second. And that pitch was a ball as well, so it makes it a 2-2 count. And it looks like Griggs has a bit of a limp coming off near second. May have had a rough slide.
Yeah, I think it ripped a hole in his pants.
So 2-2 the count. And that'll be a fly ball there going towards center, and Bell tracks it down. It was right center there. And that will do it for the Chiefs. And the top of the second, there was 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base, and no runs scored. We head to the bottom of the second as the Chiefs will send their 4, 5, and 6 batters, Oliverio, Hood, and Estrada. We'll be back with more action. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville's scoreboard. Still scoreless, 0-0. This is Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
And welcome back here. The Hoppers up to bat here. And at the bottom of the second inning, it's Dom Oliverio starting things off. And pitching for the Chiefs, still Jack Bell, a taller pitcher on the mound too. The first pitch from Bell is high for a ball. You mentioned Oliverio walked multiple times in yesterday's game, showing good plate discipline. Also was able to get a double as well. He's also been one of the players that have been in the lineup consistently, whether he's a designated hitter, as that's a strike there, whether designated hitter or sometimes playing in outfield.
Yeah, he had 4 straight walks, in fact, yesterday. Started things off with a double, was the first hit for the Hoppers, and then had 4 straight walks the rest of the night. Did a really good job to get on base and move around him.
1-1, and a pitch down the middle there for a strike makes it 1-2.
I'm wondering if this is the same umpire we saw last night, because I mentioned on the screen card a few times that he was loving to call those outside strikes. So far, we've seen several of those called by this umpire.
And that'll be a strikeout looking there as Oliverio looks a bit confused, maybe just a bit high there, but it was in the middle, and that's a strikeout, the first one. That comes from Jack Bell. Now next up to bat, it's Carter Hood. He's playing third base tonight. And as you mentioned it, the umpires today, the plate umpire is James Elgood. First base is Rick Erickson. And the third base umpire, Bobby Smith. This game day sponsor also is Charlie Henderson State Farm, as that's an outside pitch for a ball. Charlie Henderson, as well, also is the president of the Hoptown Hoppers. So appreciate him for his president duties as well as sponsoring this game for Charlie Henderson State Farm, as that's an outside pitch as well. So 2 back-to-back balls here to Carter Hood. Of course, the last home game, it was Stitch's birthday. 2-0 count, that's a high pitch. Make it in a 3-0 count. You know what? I think Stitch has partied too hard. I don't see Stitches out here today, so.
No, I've yet to see any babies crying at the sight of Stitches, as we're used to seeing.
3-0 is high for a ball. So Hood advances to first. Now Robert Estrada is at the plate.
Yeah, and something you need to mention is he throws 3 straight strikes to Oliverio and then throws 4 straight balls to Carter Hood. Now, I think the easy explanation for that is that those 3 strikes thrown to Oliverio probably weren't all strikes. But, an interesting flip there. You don't see that very often.
So 1 out here. Estrada at the plate. At first is Hood. The first pitch is high as Estrada ducks a bit. And leaping up quickly was the catcher for the Chiefs. So 1-0 count, runner at first. The pitch is an outside there, a bit high as well, making it 2-0. Count. The pitch is a strike there. First one in the count, 2-1. Heard Coach Savari from the dugout saying, be smart here before the 2-0 count. Maybe he wanted Estrada to take or see what the next pitch would be, especially after walking the previous batter. 2-1, that one's near the dirt, but stopped there by catcher Kreider, keeping Hood at first.
I'll say this about the Paducah pitcher. We've already mentioned that he's a very tall, long-armed guy. And that is a benefit for pitchers if they can get those balls down and into the zone. They're much harder to hit coming from above like that. But also, you do have to, take that into account. He's throwing a lot of these high because of that.
3-1 pitch. That's another high ball. So back-to-back walks puts Hood on second, and Estrada will advance to first. You've got runners on first and second with Artem Logvinov at the plate. Still looking for his first hit of the season. He didn't manage to score 2 runs yesterday. But looking for that first Hopper hit of the season is Logvanov. So runners on first and second here with the 1 out. A hit here possibly could bring a scoring run from second. Still scoreless here, 0-0 in the bottom of the second. The pitch is down the middle for a strike.
Yeah, I got the chance before the game to play some soccer with Art, and I'm a guy who's played soccer for 15 years of my life, and he just outclassed me
Really?
in every way. It's a little bit of a humbling experience.
0-1 the count. That's fouled off behind home plate. Yeah, I saw no hacky sack today. Brought a real soccer ball out, as that's a pregame activity. I'm sure that they do it in away games too. It's not just the home games.
Yeah, you'll always see a hacky sack. I was surprised to see the soccer ball today. I'm assuming Logvanov is who brought that, because they did sub out the usual hacky sack for a real soccer ball today.
0-2 count here. Runners on first and second, 1 out. The pitch is going to be fouled there near the batting cages for the Hoppers.
I'll mention that it's a different look tonight from Paducah. Similar, a lot of guys that were in the lineup last night are in the lineup again, but someone like Gunnar Bingham, who is probably their best all-around player, playing left field tonight instead of his normal middle infield, second base, shortstop position. So a little bit of a shakeup for Paducah.
And a ball there will be an infield fly towards second, and it is caught there. So Logvanov gets the second out there after popping out. Now Miggy Villalobos is at the plate, right-handed batter, playing first base. We've seen him more common lately in the lineup. He started off playing consistently, kind of was taken out of the lineup a bit. And he's found himself back in there. Breaking ball looked pretty, and it sounds good from the umpire there, making it an 0-1 count.
Yeah, last night was the first night in a while that Miggy was out of the lineup, probably just taking his off day. Probably the first time in a couple of weeks we have seen him completely out of the lineup was yesterday.
The 0-1, that's a strike there, making it 0-2. So 2 outs here. And an 0-2 count, still scoreless here. 2 runners on base for the Hoppers at first and second. The 0-2 is a bit high there.
I'll say that pitch was significantly closer to being a strike than the one thrown previous outside that was called a strike. So interesting dynamic as far as where the strike zone may be located tonight. Probably pushing the outside more than it is up and down.
Runners on first and second. The 1-2 is swung on and missed there for the second strikeout of the inning, the second of the game for Jack Bell, the pitcher for the Chiefs. As that's the 3rd out. There were no hits for the Hoppers, no errors, 2 left on base, and no runs scored. We head to the top of the 3rd inning. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard. Still scoreless here. We'll be back for more Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
And welcome back here. And the top of the third inning. Want to take a quick timeout for station identification. When we come back, we'll have a Chiefs batting.
This is News Radio WHOP AM Hopkinsville and WHOP HD3 Hopkinsville.
And it'll be batting for the Chiefs, Nate Long, a left-handed batter. Still pitching Balin White. The pitch is swung on and missed there.
And there's that off-speed pitch that Coach E.J. Davari was talking about, getting the batter to swing way early there.
0-1. That ball will be hit towards right center, and it's Bell there to make the grab.
Yeah, Stephen Bell on his birthday tonight getting quite a bit of action out in the center field.
His third catch.
Yeah, I was about to say, I believe all of the balls hit in the outfield have all been caught by Bell.
Like you mentioned, Stephen Bell turning 19 today. So one out here. Now another left-handed batter. It's Austin Kreider. A couple of lefties in this lineup. That's a swing and a miss. Late swing there. Makes it an 0-1 count. So a quick out here. Breaking ball is high and outside there, making it 1-1. The 1-1, that's down the middle for a strike. May have just been a slight bit outside too. 1-2 the count here with one out. Scoreless here between both teams in the top of the third. That's a swing and a miss for a strikeout.
And I'll mention this, Balin White talked about it yesterday when Jacob Dilday pitched. They had traded gloves. Balin had given Jacob one of his old gloves that he didn't use anymore, and vice versa. But it looks tonight like they've traded back, because that blue glove that Balin is wearing, I believe, is the one that he gave to Jacob. So I don't know if the deal fell through, but interesting look as Balin seems to be wearing the blue glove once again.
First pitch is a foul there. Back at the top of the lineup, Kostranik is batting. Balin, too, you wonder, too, you talk about rest and things of that nature. If, depending on how well he continues to pitch, Balin White, that's a high pitch. Will he get more time than usual? Normally it's about the fourth, max fifth inning. Could he get more time, considering this is going to be his last game and probably won't be playing baseball for a few months now?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure he throws a strike there. So that's 2-1-2 the count. Not exactly sure if EJ will go against his game plan. He has not been one to do that very much. Last night, Ginnivan threw 6, which was what he said was the max. So we'll see if Balin will go the full 6 tonight, but I would say that'll probably be about the farthest he'll go.
And outside a pitch there, just gets beside the plate, and making it a 2-2 count. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here for the Chiefs. Kostranik at the plate. That is high and inside. Filling up the count here. Again, the Hoppers playing the Paducah Chiefs. This Hopper game day is presented by Charlie Henderson State Farm Insurance. That is a foul ball there as it goes behind the Chick-fil-A broadcast booth. And so the count remains full here. Kostranik struck out looking in his first at bat. And he'll get a chopper there. It'll go, be fielded by Logvanov. No, Perkins makes the grab behind Logvanov. And reaching the base there was Kostranik. So a nice infield single there. As he reaches first. Now Will Gibbs is at the plate. Still 2 outs here. Runner at first. Gibbs had a fly ball out to center in his last at bat. That ball is going to be grounded in between first and second. No, tracking it down is Perkins. He'll make the throw, but in time there is Gibbs. So another infield base hit back-to-back from the Chiefs. So advancing to second is Kostranik, and Gibbs will move to first. Now Bingham will be at the plate. Left-handed batter struck out looking. And his first at bat, first and only at bat. Balin White at about 50 pitches so far in these first 3 innings. And if you're White, you might want to work some of this off speed when you have a player like Bingham. Try to get him off his game, maybe get him to swing on some outside and inside pitches. Don't want to really give him something down the middle there, as that clips the middle corner there for a strike outside, making it a 1-1 count. The 1-1 pitch, that is tipped off the bat, but falls on the glove of Douglas, making it a 1-2 count here. Again, I mentioned Bingham did strike out looking, and his one and only at bat so far. Wants to make sure that doesn't happen again here with the 1-2 count. The pitch, and he swings outside as Douglas will have to track down Bingham. He'll make the throw to Villalobos, and that's an out there. On a drop, third, a strike. And in the inning, there were 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base, and no runs scored. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard. Still scoreless here, 0-0. We'll be back with more bottom of the 3rd action brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Joe P.
And welcome back here. Sam Perkins starting things off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Hoppers. It's a 0-0 ball game still here, as the Hoppers are taking on the Paducah Chiefs. First pitch is inside for a strike as Perkins moves out of the way. Ump still says it's a strike there, making it an 0-1 count. The second pitch is going to be a base hit in between the shortstop and third baseman. And Perkins gets the first hit of the ball game for the Hoppers. Now back at the top of the lineup, it's Reed Douglas for the Hoppers. Again, pitching is Jack Bell for the Chiefs. Bell did see some time in yesterday's ball game, did some relieving. He's inserted into the starting lineup here. Thing that sticks out for Bell is that first pitch is fouled behind home plate. Bell, a taller pitcher on the mound. Seems to be about 6'3".
Oh, I'd say taller than that.
You think?
Yeah.
I think I'm not too good on the gauging heights. We'll try to figure that out. You say taller. What do you say then?
I'd say 6'5" or so.
6'5" or so. I don't know. We'll do some research here in between innings, try to figure that out. But an 0-1 count after the foul ball is Bell throws over to first. Perkins gets back in time. So an 0-1 count. Douglas at the plate. Perkins trying to steal. The throw will be made, and it's too high there. Perkins slides into second. So nice position here for the Hoppers. No outs and a runner at second. And I believe that pitch was a ball, making it a 2-1 count. Or no, excuse me, that was the first ball. So 1-1 the count. Runner at second. No outs here. 1-1 is swung on and missed there, high and outside. So a 1-2 count. 1-2. Runner at second. The pitch is going to be called a strike there. So Douglas strikes out looking. That was an outside pitch there.
Yeah, and we've already mentioned it that this umpire has a very wide strike zone, especially that right side, outside. I think at first I just said he likes the outside, but we saw some lefties and he was calling those inside pitches tight as well. So I think he just likes that really far right side to call strikes on, because that last pitch was not a strike, but he's been calling those all night. We've talked about we like umpires to stay consistent, so if he's going to call them consistently, then you can't really blame him. The batters know it's coming.
High pitch there. Stephen Bell at the plate. 1-0 count. So now 1 out with a runner at second. And a 0-0 ball game here in the bottom of the third inning. The 1-1 pitch is going to be chopped near second. Advancing to third will be Perkins. The throw is made as Bell is out.
But he does his job there. I mean, that's what you want to see. Sam Perkins, probably the fastest guy in this lineup for Hoptown. And then now you have Luis Vergara at the plate, probably one of the better, more consistent hitters for Hoptown. So in the position here to score a run, something that the Hoppers like to see.
And so now up to bat, it'll be Luis Vergara. And a runner on third. First pitch, a ball.
Yeah, and Jamar's a little bit more professional than I am, but I'll let y'all know that we're battling wasps up here tonight. This will be, we're watching one right now, keeping it on track. It's flying in and out of the booth. We've already killed one today, so if you hear some jumping or weird vocal pauses, that's because this wasp is going to war with us up in the booth right now. I've got a hat, and Jamar has a stack of papers. As that one is fouled off for a strike.
You need to include one of our sponsor reads. Hire the Hoppers broadcast booth for all pest control needs. As a 1-1 count here to Luis Vergara here with 2 outs and a runner at third. Inside pitch there is a ball. 1-0-2. I apologize for anything that possibly happens if I have to pause for a brief moment to take care of a wasp. As that's a foul ball.
Wasp down.
2-2. Wasp down over. 2-2 the count. Runner at third here with 2 outs. The pitch is fouled there, left of third base.
Yeah, and twos are wild right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But, you're not going to complain if Luis walks here, but that's not what they want to see. They want to see Luis run, get an RBI here and get Perkins in. I mean, this is the guy that is relied upon in this Hoppers lineup to get hits. So that's what they're hoping for right now.
The 2-2 pitch from Bell. That is low and inside. It ends up in the dirt. So a full count now with a runner at third. Again, 2 outs. Bell has thrown about 50 pitches now. Full count is inside for a ball, just a bit high as well. So walking will be Vergara. And now up to bat, Dom Oliverio.
Yeah, this is the part of the lineup that the Hoppers need to get a hit in. Luis Oliverio and then Carter Hood, probably the strongest portion of this lineup. So they have a runner on third here. If one of the three can't bring him in, then that's a pretty rough look for this Hoppers team. If they're going to get one, they need to get it right now.
So 2 outs here. Runners at first and third. The pitch. That'll be a shot towards the shortstop, and it goes in between the legs, and a run will score. Perkins comes in, and going to third will be Vergara. And ball just goes right in between the legs of Gastranik.
Yeah, and that one had pace on it. I mean, obviously a routine play there as it rolls straight to the shortstop, but so much speed that if he doesn't get that glove down in time, it's going to roll under him. Did a bad job of blocking it with his body behind his glove, and you'll take those. A little bit scary, but you'll take them, and now you have another runner on third base with, like I said, Carter Hood at the plate, another solid hitter for this Hoppers team.
And so now 2 outs here, and Carter Hood is at the plate. A 1-0 ball game now. Hoppers take the lead here in the bottom of the third. Runners at first and third. The pitch, stealing second. They'll make the throw, sliding, and a nice job there from Dom Oliverio as he jumped deep for that slide head first and made it in time. The throw looked like he was going to make it. So now runners at second and third. Solid base hit here, could score 2 runs for the Hoppers. It's a 1-0 count for Hood. The pitch is going to be high and inside to make it a 2-0 count. So a 2-0 count here. If Hood can manage to reach base, Estrada on deck. The pitch. That is going to be called a strike. Just about as outside as it could be there. So 2-1 the count.
But like I said, I mean, he's been calling it all night. So, the batter has to know that's coming.
2 outs here. That ball will be hit towards center field, trying to track it down. It is tracked there. Brombaugh with the grab. So that'll do it for the Hoppers in the bottom of the third, as there was 1 hit, there was 1 error, there were 2 left on base, and 1 run scored. As checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 1-0. This is Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
There's a lot.
News Radio WHOP.
And welcome back here. 1-0 the score in the top of the 4th inning. They just did it on the field, but want to take the time to, as they honored Ted Yachek for his time, as he is, of course, works at WHOP, so a coworker of mine, but he is also my insider for all Hopper information, as he has spent time as a president, a general manager for the Hoppers, has spent time on the board, also has worked with the OVL in itself as well. So a big contributor to this Hoppers organization. And if you're a Hoppers fan, he has helped you and the team as well. So big shout out to him. He was awarded a plaque, apparently about a 60-pound plaque as well. Not sure how truthful that was, but
If it really was 60 pounds like they said it was, I don't know why they would do that. That wasn't that big. The face space wasn't that big on that plaque, but Balin White throws a strike right there, but the black was so thick that it was, 60 pounds. Yeah, I don't know. They went out of their way to make it as heavy as possible.
Frostman is at the plate. That's an outside pitch there after the swing and a miss. So a 1-1 count here. Braden Frostman again at the plate. 1-1 count. Breaking ball, late swing there makes it a 1-2 count.
And I will mention something to note. This umpire has liked that outside pitch. It was just thrown by Balin White and called a ball. So first sign of difference there for him.
And a fly ball there will end up near right field. Estrada makes the grab. So the first out there. And at the top of the fourth for the Chiefs, Javier Beal is at the plate. So one out here, as I overheard our PA announcer Scott Colley mention, want to update the College World Series going on right now. LSU is up 2-1 as that's a chopper fielded by White, thrown to first, and that's an out there. Javier Beal is retired. It's the best of 3 series there. And the top of the 4th inning, LSU up 2-1.
Got to say, I'm not that big of an LSU or Florida fan. I find myself rooting against those teams more often than not, but I think I'm going for Florida in this one just because it seems like everybody's rooting for LSU.
It's an outside pitch there. I can appreciate that. And I feel like, too, is it your team, correct me if I'm wrong, is it Kentucky for baseball?
Yeah, it's Kentucky for everything, college, as much as that does hurt sometimes.
As that's a strike called there, making it a 1-1 count. You find it interesting. Do you want to root for an SEC team to kind of represent the SEC, or is when an SEC team goes in, is that's a swing and a miss to make it a 1-2, or are you rooting for anybody but them?
Most of the time I think people who root for the conference are dumb. I think that's a dumb thing to do. Those should be your biggest rivals. I think weirdly enough for Kentucky, all their biggest rivals are outside of the SEC, so it doesn't really matter much for us. But no, I never go into it saying I'm rooting for my conference, I think.
A foul ball there.
That's a little weird.
Keeps it a 1-2. I will say the one thing about it, though, is say you're an SEC team that managed to beat LSU a couple times in the season. They win the championship. You get to say that you beat the World Series
That's
championship.
True.
So
that's true. That's
a way to look at
it. When I lose, I always root for the team that beat me, so I always can say I lost to the best team.
1-2, and that's an outside pitch there for a strikeout looking. You mentioned the ump likes that call, and he called it there. Strike 3 in the 1-2 count for the Chiefs in the top of the 4th inning. There were no hits, no errors, none left on base, and no runs scored. As we look over to the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, looking for a job as a Manpower on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville today. Let them connect you with a great position where you can start tomorrow. The score as the Hoppers are set to bat, they lead 1-0. This has been Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
Leading off for the Hoppers, it'll be Robert Estrada here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hoppers lead the Paducah Chiefs, so 1-0 here inside Colonel Field. As it'll be the 6, 7, and 8 batters as the first pitch to Estrada is inside in the middle for a ball. So a 1-0 count. It'll be Estrada on deck is Logvanov. And then Villalobos, the second pitch called strike against Estrada. 1-1 the count. Doesn't look like any action in the bullpen for the Chiefs. Hoppers, they do have some players throwing a bit. That pitch is low and inside for a ball, or a bit outside, should I say. So a 2-1 count now. And a low inside pitch there makes it a 3-1 count with the ball. 3-1 the count. Estrada was walked in his last at bat. He tries to make a walk to first, but that's a strike called there, making it a full count here, 3-2.
Yeah, and he knew that one was a strike, but you know, you always got to try the walk to first trick, see if you can trick the umpire.
Yeah, 3-2 pitch. That one is a shot
That'll be
towards
down.
left field. That's a base hit, and he's going to go for 2. And
He's there easy.
he will make it. It was close as he signals a bow and arrow towards the Hopper dugout. And a stand-up double there from Estrada.
That was a pretty ball, probably one of the better hit balls I've seen on this field this year, to be 100% honest with you. Knew it was going to hit that gap pretty much as soon as it left the bat. With a player as fast as Estrada, you knew he was going for extra bases too and was going to make it. So a big double to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth.
And so a 1-0 ball game here. The Hoppers at bat with a runner at second and Estrada. Logvanov at the plate. First pitch breaking ball is called strike, just a bit outside in the middle. So an 0-1 count. 5-1 the score. Henderson Flash currently defeating the Boys County Bombers. And at the bottom of the fourth inning. And a low and outside ball there makes it a 1-1 count. Again, the Cincinnati Reds streak came to an end tonight as the Atlanta Braves defeated them 7-6. 1-1 count. As umpires looking, home umpire looking at the coach, talking to Coach Estrada. As they're saying Logvanov called time. And so Davari's going to just come talk to Logvanov, I guess. It seemed it was taking a bit of time there, and Logvanov wanted to take a quick timeout. So having some words with Coach Davari. Trying to discuss some things here. His Hoppers with a chance to extend the lead with a runner at second and no outs. And so a 1-1 count here. And a 1-0 ball game.
I mentioned this about Logvanov. He likes to stand all the way towards the back end of the box, towards the catcher. Foot is on the line back there deep in the box.
And that will be a foul ball going beside right field. So a 1-2 counts. Estrada at second. Logvanov at the plate. The pitch from Bell. That'll be a strike called, but a stolen base there. And Estrada makes it to third.
The home plate umpire is calling him out, but I mean, that wasn't even close. He was there. The third baseman had to jump to catch that ball.
As there's a discussion between Davari, he is frustrated.
And they're saying it was batter interference there, which is going to be out on Logvanov, and they're also going to have to send Estrada back to second, I believe. So Estrada not out, Logvanov out. But I guess Davari asking how that could be better interference. Logvinov didn't move from the box.
He didn't, and it was, I tried to look over and wanted to make sure I saw the pitching call while also seeing Estrada steal, and umpire signaled a strike called. And I thought Kreider, the catcher for the Chiefs, immediately just kind of went up, and it was a throw to third. So you imagine how much could the left-handed batter Logvinov crowd the plate. So after the discussion, they are going to send Estrada back to second. Coach Davari is going to come back out. But it seems there's still some discussion going on.
Yeah, I think the Paducah Chiefs coach wants the runner to be out too, which doesn't make any sense, obviously. It was a batter's interference call, so not exactly sure what he's asking for here.
And so it looks like the umpires are going to have another discussion here. So a bit of controversy here, as this is a big point. I mean, you talk about for the Hoppers.
They're calling the runner out too here.
And so now Davari having a discussion with the home plate umpire. Estrada seems will be ruled out. So now 2 outs. And just like that, he had a runner at third. And that came from second. Now they go back to second. And now you call the runner at second out. So,
yeah, I've never seen something like that before. I mean, if it's a batter's interference call, you call the batter out, and the runner goes back to where they were stealing from. Just like if someone fouls a ball off, they've stolen, they have to go back. That's ridiculous. I'm not a baseball umpire, but that's not how the game works.
Swing and the miss from Villalobos, and the fans were very upset. You could hear them down low for the Hoppers. And an inside pitch there called striking. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more from the fans now after a call like that and with this home plate umpire. So no 2 count, 2 outs, and an outside pitch there. It makes it a 1-2 count. So a 1-2 count, 2 outs here. And a bit high pitch there makes it a 2-2 count.
Yeah, you mentioned the fans getting on these umpires now. You know, I figured they actually might not even I didn't think the runner should have been out there anyways. I still don't understand that. I figured they might keep him safe just so they didn't have to hear the fans tonight.
And an outside swing and miss there is a strikeout back-to-back. And that will be the 3rd out, as we saw no hits. Or excuse me, correction, we saw the double from Estrada. So there was 1 hit, there were no errors, none left on base, and no runs scored as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 1-0. More Hopper action coming up is brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
And welcome back here. The Hoppers currently leading the Paducah Chiefs 1-0 inside Colonel Field. And still pitching for the Hoppers is Balin White. Up to bat as that's a high pitch. It's Ben Brumbaugh. So we are here in the top of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss there. Makes it a 1-1 call. Controversy going on in that bottom of the 4th, as there was a plate interference call as there was a stolen base from 2nd to 3rd. As that's going to be a chopper to 3rd, and it was in. As confused there is Brumbaugh.
Yeah, no, Carter Hood stopped that ball before it went foul and made the throw to first, excuse me. No doubt about it. That was going foul, but Carter Hood steps up and stops it from going foul, makes an easy throw to first base.
Which not even moving there was Brumbaugh, so a nice job there from Carter to snag it in.
Yeah,
and out.
A heads-up play. He knew that batter figured that was going to go foul and wasn't probably going to run it out, so went ahead and took the opportunity to get the easy out, no challenge even from the runner.
1-0 count, and a high and outside pitch there makes it 2-0. That's a swing and a miss there. High heater there. Makes it 2-1. We've got one out here. It's Nate Lang at the plate. Pitch. That's high and outside, making it 3-1. Nate Lang had a fly out to center in his last at-bat in the 3rd inning. Again, we have one out here. And straight down the middle. Fastball there makes it a 3-2 count. Austin Kreider is on deck for the Chiefs here with one out. The full count pitch is an outside swing and miss there for a strikeout. And that is strikeout number 8 for Balin White. A great performance so far in about 70 pitches. And now Austin Kreider will come back to the plate, left-handed batter. And speaking of strikeouts, that's what Kreider did in his last at-bat and the 3rd inning.
Yeah, when White can find that strike zone, he's hard to hit because when he does throw a fastball, it's quick, and his off-speed's really nice, so he gets these batters jumping. And he likes to throw, more of those off-speed pitches than the normal pitcher does, so he catches them more often than not.
So an inside pitch there is White's going to grab a new ball. So a 1-0 count. Swing and a miss there. It makes it a 1-1 count. 2 outs here. And a high pitch. That makes it 2-1. Again, a 1-0 ball game here. That's a foul ball going behind the Chick-fil-A broadcast booth. As you can see, kids scattering. Two-two count. And that is an outside pitch for a ball. Reed Douglas had jumped up thinking it would be a strikeout there, but no, sir. A full count now. The 3-2 pitch. That's going to be called a strikeout there. Another one of those outsides.
Yeah, and it does confuse you a little bit because the pitch before that he called a ball was definitely closer to being a strike than the one that ended up actually getting the strikeout.
So a 3 up, 3 down, a 6 up, 6 down if you count the last inning for the Chiefs, as there were no hits, no errors, and a none left on base. No runs scored as going towards the bottom of the 5th inning. Checking the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard. Hoppers lead 1-0. We'll be back with more Hopper Baseball brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Ask Raymond Nelson Insurance, 3205 Lafayette Road in Hopkinsville, if auto owners make sense for you.
Hi, this is Frank Giles with Huggert Beard and Giles Funeral Home. I'm proud to say that local families can trust that when they work with Huggert Beard and Giles Funeral Home, they're getting straightforward and gimmick-free.
And welcome back here as the Hoptown Hoppers are in action against the Paducah Chiefs. 1-0 is the score. The Hoppers lead. And so they will be batting here in the bottom of the 5th. And it'll be the 9, 1, and 2 batters starting things off. That's Sam Perkins, Reed Douglas, and Stephen Bell. Sam Perkins, first up, he had the first hit in the ball game for the Hoppers.
Also the lone run for the Hoppers. This was the exact same position the Hoppers were in that 3rd inning when they picked up that run.
And ball there called. As I had turned my head, did you catch that?
Oh, yeah, no, that ball, I didn't realize you weren't looking at it. That ball flies over Perkins' head and straight into the backstop without hitting the ground. Was a wild one, to say the least.
So a 1-0 count. That one near the head as well to Perkins. Inside, making it a 2-0 count. That ball will be chopped and fouled along the third base line, making it a 2-1 count. Sam Perkins only has had one at bat. And it was a base hit we mentioned. Score update, it is still 2-1. The LSU Tigers ahead of the Florida Gators. 2-1 count here. That ball will be hit towards the glove, and it'll be lobbed, and that's an out there. Underarm toss there from Bell, and he gets the out.
Yeah, and good reflexes there from Bell. If he doesn't get his glove, the tip of his glove on that ball and drop it down, that would go straight up the middle and would have been a hit. So uses that long wingspan of his to affect where that ball was going.
So now Reed Douglas is at the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Had a fly out to left field and struck out in his last at bat. First pitch there, almost check swung, but didn't. But it's called a strike anyways, making it a 0-1 count. Again, pitching as that ball will be hit towards left field. That's a base hit. Douglas is going to go for 2, and he will get there. And a double there from Reed Douglas, another left field double. We saw one from Estrada earlier. Douglas gets one himself.
And so if Stephen Bell here can get on base, not get out is the better way to put it, to pick up that second out. If he can get on base here, we are looking right back at that area of the lineup with Vergara, Oliverio, and Hood, that now with a runner on second, you would assume is your best shot at getting a run.
Breaking ball goes past the catcher, so advancing to third will be Douglas, as it had some movement but was still a bit high. And so the wild pitch there will advance Douglas to third. 1-0-2. The 2 doubles in this game make the total 16 for the Hoppers. They're actually last in the OVL in doubles. And triples as well. And you look at extra base hits, they're last in that too. So that's a foul ball going behind the visiting bleachers, something that the Hoppers have struggled to do. So when you see 2 doubles in a game, that's a nice sight to see for the Hoppers.
Yeah, this Hoppers team, not a great hitting team, probably pretty low on the marks for most offensive metrics, but they're a good walking team. And
swing and a miss there makes it a 1-2 count. And you mentioned the walks. They are, honestly, they're 10th in the league in that. So when you look at the league,
maybe not comparatively, they're better at walking than they are hitting. Comparing it to themselves, you don't want to play a relatively game.
As an inside pitch there makes it a 2-2 count. And so 2-2 the count. That ball fouled behind home plate. Keeps the count the same.
Yeah, and we talked about those solid ABs we saw yesterday in the late part of that game from the Hoppers. If they can get a couple of those right here, that would be absolutely huge. Starting with Stephen Bell, who's already fouled a couple off here.
2-2 pitch with one out and a runner at third. That ball will go. And
oh, man.
Trying to track it down there was the catcher. And Douglas stays at third. Kind of hesitated. Came off the bag, but maybe thought it would hit the backstop a little more towards the right side and wanted to play it safe.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a not paying attention thing or if that was I maybe thought the catcher had a better control over it than he did, but Douglas,
he could have made it.
That would have been a run, and he paused up, started to go, and then by the time he started to go, he knew it was too late, had to return to third. So a missed opportunity there for Hoptown.
Full count, runner at third. The pitch, that ball will be a base hit. Scoring will be Douglas. And Bell, the birthday boy, gets his base hit, first one of the day. After back-to-back times grounding a second, he went to the other side of the field and got one in between the shortstop and third baseman.
Yeah, and I want to say all of the Hoppers' hits tonight have been on that left side, multiple in that 5.5 hole, and some back between the left and center fielders, kind of seeing some Gwynn-like hitting tonight for Hoptown as they kind of sneak it through that 5.5 hole between the third baseman and shortstop.
And so Jack Bell is going to hand the baseball over to the Chiefs coach. And we have a new pitcher in. It looks like number 15 maybe is what I'm reading. Just not able to see the jersey. But we'll let you know who that pitcher is when we come back. Again, 2-0 the score. We'll have some warm-up pitches here when we come back. It is number 15 for the Chiefs, but we'll let you know who exactly that is after this timeout. So 2-0, we'll be right back with more Hopper action brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
WHOP.
And welcome back here. New pitcher for the Chiefs. It's Noah Boone. Noah Boone is coming from Southeastern Illinois College, a right-handed pitcher from Kentucky. And you're the Kentucky local, so I'm going to ask you to pronounce, is it Kutawa, Kentucky?
Oh, man. Katawa sounds familiar, but I can't say I've ever been there.
I would like to say Katawa, too. I think that makes more sense.
Katawa sounds like something I've heard before. I can't say that's a very populated area. I could be wrong about that, but not a place I think I've ever been.
Katawa, Kentucky. Say that about 10 times in a row. See if you can.
Kentucky, home of a lot of counties and a lot of little towns and cities. So,
I've learned that with these high schools. Mm-hmm. I've never seen so many high schools named after their cities and counties. So. One out here, runner at first, as we were still in the bottom of the 5th inning. And first pitch there to Luis Vergara is a strike from Noah Boone. As Stephen Bell had the base hit that drove in Reed Douglas for the run and making it a 2-0 ball game now. As the Hoppers taking on the Paducah Chiefs. The throw is going to be an inside swing as the ball tipped the bat but landed in the glove of Kreider, making it an 0-2 count. Vergara was walked in his last at bat and it grounded out to third in that first inning. It was right down the line in that third base. For a lot of third basemen, it probably would have been a hit, but it was a nice play. As an outside pitch there makes it a 1-2 count. Low and outside was that ball there. So we have an attendance at about 301 is the number that I am being told. Is Paducah Chiefs, they do travel a bit, so we're seeing some extra red, could you say, in the stands, as that'll be a foul ball there towards the screen of the bleachers next to the Hopper dugout by first base. So a 1-2 count.
Yeah, Paducah, one of those teams with a pretty loyal fan base. It also helps they have a pretty neat ballpark out there, and Paducah with a lot of seating, good seating. So they get a good crowd out there. They had a good crowd last night, and like he said, they do travel well.
The Chiefs are the 4th ranked team in the OVL as far as fan attendance. The Hoppers are 2nd.
And I want to say Paducah was 1st last year by the end of the year as well. So I'm assuming, what is it, the 1st this year, Du Bois probably?
You know, I believe it is the Du Bois County Bombers. So a 2-2 count here against Luis Vergara. He's worked from the 0-2 count. That's going to be a high pitch. They're going to throw over to first to Bell. Bell is there in time. As Bell had a strong leadoff. Nice job there from Steven to get back in time. So now a full count here. Started off as an 0-2 count. Vergara, you mentioned how well he is at his plate discipline. Has worked it all the way to a 3-2 here. Again, Noah Boone, a new pitcher for the Chiefs. This is his first batter. The pitch is going to be a strikeout, but stealing is Bell. He ran no matter what. And Bell will be now at second. Vergara is out on the strikeouts.
And that's another one of those outside pitches that he's been calling strikes all night. And look, he's been consistent with it. And you do ask that of umpires, but it does hurt when you see one of those go by for a strikeout when you know good and well that that was not a strike as far as a normal strike zone is concerned.
Now Dom Oliverio at the plate as he reached on an error in his last at bat. Outside pitch there makes it a 1-0 count. 5th batter for the Hoppers in this inning so far. Oliverio, the 4th batter in the lineup. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed there, makes it a 1-1. Again, 2 outs here with the runner at second, and a 2-0 ball game. As the Hoppers lead, a low pitch there makes it a 2-1 count. So 2 outs here. 2-1 the count. The pitch to Oliverio is swung on and missed. Might have been tapped a bit on the bat, but landed in the glove of Kreider. So you have a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Again, Noah Boone, the second pitcher for the Chiefs in this ball game. The pitch is swung on and missed. It gets a bit loose. And Kreider will make the throw to first, but
I want to say they said he did not check swing there.
It's Oliverio. They're saying his plate appearance is not over with.
Now they are, but Oliverio's right. The umpire 100% made the safe motion with his arms there. I mean, that was no doubt about it.
So more controversy here, and interesting calls there. But regardless, that will be the third out as Oliverio strikes out. There was a 1 hit and no errors, 1 left on base, and a no run scored as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Looking at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, Hoppers lead 2-0. We'll be back for 6th inning action brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
And at the top of the lineup are the Chiefs here at the top of the 6th. It's Sammy Kostranik for the Chiefs. Still pitching Balin White for the Hoppers. Outside pitch there for a ball. 9 strikeouts for White in this game. That's an inside strike called. White having a great performance so far, and it's bittersweet as this is actually going to be White's last game as a Hopper. 1-2 pitch there. Not sure what if he has to report. I would say probably not reporting because of reporting to college, because Jackson McTire, his teammate, staying. But for whatever reason, he is one of those half-a-season players. And that'll be a check swing. They'll say he didn't go, which makes it a 2-2 count now. It looked close. Not sure it got all the way past the plate, though.
Yeah, but these fans are not going to give these umpires any leeway right now. So if that bat even leaves the shoulder of the batter, they're going to want a strike called. So and I can't really blame them either.
2-2 count, and that's going to hit the back of Kostranik. So first the batter will advance to first. And Will Gibbs will be at the plate. He is one of the 2 batters to have a hit in this ball game, or 3 batters, excuse me. As that'll be an inside strike there.
The Hoppers need to get an out before Gunnar Bingham gets to the plate. If they have no outs and 2 runners on, whenever he gets up there, it'll be a nasty look.
And 0-2 count here as White finds himself quickly ahead in the count. So runner at first, 0-2 count, 2-0 ball game. Hoppers lead. Chiefs up at bat. That'll be a shot straight to White. Hits him in the side. The field there, though, the throw from Hood, and that's in time. Advancing to second is Kostranik. And Gibbs is out. A nice job there from Hood to make the throw. And I think White looks over at Davari, says, I'm good. But that ball, it hit the glove first, I believe. I don't know if it, I don't think it hit him straight in the side first. I think it hit the glove, then hit him in the side. But
yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure that hurt. I mean, Balin, from talking to him, is the type of guy to, he's a tough kid.
oh, yeah,
so
Oklahoma kids are tough.
he whether it hurts or not, that probably doesn't really matter. But, you know, also Carter Hood, just a fantastic play there to pick that ball up barehanded and make that throw. A very, very good play from Carter Hood.
0-1 the count. Throw there is a strike, a bit high and outside. 0-1 the count now. And so 1 out and a runner at second as the Chiefs trail in this ball game. Bingham at the plate. He'll foul the second one off the plate, making it quickly an 0-2 count. That's where Will Gibbs was in the last at bat before he had grounded out. And once again, Balin White throws to an 0-2 count. The 0-2 pitch. That ball will be hit towards right field. And it's caught there from Perkins as he backs up from second base to make the grab.
Yeah, way to track back from Perkins. I'm sure Bell, Estrada both could have probably made that catch, but better safe than sorry. A little bit less ground covered from Perkins than Estrada and Bell. So a quick player there and a heads-up play to go ahead and make that grab and keep it as close to second base as they can.
Now Braden Frostman is at the plate. So still a runner at second as the ball was too short for Kostranik to try to tag up. So 2 outs here, runner at second. White still on the mound, and it's Frostman at the plate. A swing and a miss there. A high heater from White. So an 0-1 count. The pitch is low and outside, making it 1-1. Sunset approaching here at Colonel Field, as that is an inside strike to the righty batter. 1-2 count. Almost time for me to make my transition from the sunglasses to regular ones. 1-2. That ball will be hit towards left field. It has some height to it, and it is out of here. A home run from Braden Frostman, and that ties up the ball game as Coach Albin is making a walk over towards the mound. And Frostman with the 2-run homer.
And Frostman, you know, surprising, there has been a bad hitter in yesterday and today's game up until that point, and then just absolutely schlocks that one all the way. I mean, you could tell immediately by the way Luis Vergara reacted to it in left field. He knew that one was going over.
It had the height to it. It's just a matter of the distance. Frostman is trying to take a look here. If that's his first one of the season, that's his second home run of the season. And you know what? He's actually, before this, he had the only home run of the season for the Chiefs, as he has now one of the only 2 home runs as well now. So White's night is finished, and his night as a whole is finished for the Hoppers as a season. And we have a new pitcher, and I did not see who walked on the mound. But we will let you all know once we come back. 2-2 now, the score with 2 outs for the Chiefs. And I believe it's John Gerard coming in, as want to note that Balin White pitched 5 2/3 innings and only allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, and he had 9 strikeouts. We'll take a timeout, let Gerard get some warm-up going here. When we come back, we'll have more Hopper Baseball brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
WHOP.
And welcome back. We have a tie ball game here. After a 2-0 lead for the Hoppers, it was a 2-run homer from Braden Frostman just a few moments ago that led to a pitching change. Balin White, after throwing 9 strikeouts in the game and throwing for 5 2/3 innings, he has been replaced by John Gerard.
Yeah, and you hate to see his night end the way it did with that big home run, but when you look at it as a whole, excellent outing. 2 runs is not bad at all, and just one of the lower marks we've seen from a starter so far this year from the Hoppers in an outing. And obviously those 9 strikeouts is a pretty big number in comparison to what we usually see.
Outside pitch for a ball, so a 1-1 count now. It was a strike called in that first one after Javier Beal at the plate showed bunt. 1-1 pitch. That ball is outside for a strike. I want to remind listeners that the game day sponsor today is Charlie Henderson State Farm, as that'll be a shot straight to second. Grounder fielded, thrown from Perkins to Villalobos, and that'll be the 3rd out of the 6th inning for the Chiefs. As in this inning, there was 1 hit, and no errors, none left on base, and 2 runs scored. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 2-2. Tie ball game here. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th action as we will see the 5, 6, and 7 batters for the Hoppers coming up. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
WHOP.
And welcome back here as Carter Hood will start things off for the Hoppers in the bottom of the 6th inning. The 5th hole batter after that on deck is Robert Estrada, and then Artem Logvinov will round things out for the first 3 batters coming out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We have a tie ball game at 2 runs apiece. The Hoppers taking on the Paducah Chiefs. First pitch is called a strike there, as Noah Boone is pitching for the Chiefs. And a low pitch there near there makes it a 1-1 count. So 1-1 the count. Wind up here from Boone. That ball will be fouled as that goes behind the Hopper dugout near first base. So a 1-2 count now. Breaking ball there is outside, making it a 2-2 count. And an update from the College World Series. 3-2 ball game in the bottom of the 6s. That'll be a shot towards center field, and it'll drop for base hits from Carter Hood. So Hood on first base, now up to bat, Robert Estrada. As I was mentioning, 3-2 the score. The Gators lead the Tigers in the bottom of the 6th. As we appreciate anyone listening that's watching Hopper baseball over the World Series. We're going to try our best to give you the scores in that as well. And a pitch down the middle there for a strike to Estrada. So an 0-1 count here. We're going to runner at first, no outs. Breaking ball, that ball will be in between the short and third for a base hit. Back-to-back base hits. Puts runners on first and second for the Hoppers. Back-to-back singles. And now Artem Logvinov will come to the plate. Is 0 for 2 on the day. Like I mentioned, in his first, well, this is his third game. Has yet to get a hit. Has still managed to get on base, though. Ended up scoring a couple of runs in last night's game against the Chief, but still looking for that first Hopper hit. So now runners at first and second. First pitch is going to be swung in between short and third, and as I say that, there it is. Now staying at third. No, he's going to go all the way.
And he's there.
That's a wild throw there. As a Hood will score and come home. Hoppers take back the lead. Artem Logvinov will get the base hit, and he finds his way towards second as well after the throw. And how about that? That's a great way to get your first hit as a Hopper.
And I'll say this, Hoppers have sent runners in that situation a lot this season. I've gotten guys thrown out in that situation. Carter Hood probably thinking of that, having some flashbacks and decides he was going to hold up at third base. Coach Benny was wanting him to go. He was sending him, and Carter Hood was going to stay up, and then the left fielder actually bobbled the ball, kind of didn't think the runner was going to go, then maybe saw he was going and kind of freaked him out, bobbles the ball, wild throw. Carter Hood makes it back anyway, so a bit of a confusing situation at third base. Works out for him in the long run, and 2 runners still in scoring position after a run scored there.
And so now a 3-2 ball game. The Hoppers have taken back the lead quickly as a meeting between the Chiefs infield and their coach. As we've got a hype Hopper dugout here.
Hype Jacob Dilday, more like it's mainly him.
And 3-2 is your score here. Miggy Villalobos is at the plate. Runners at second and third. Breaking ball there. A slow ball there is called a strike. So an 0-1 count here. No outs here with runners at second and third. That ball will get loose and trying to come in as Estrada. He'll make it. And another run scores. Estrada uses his speed coming from third to home for the 4th run of the ball game, and Logvinov will make it and go to third. So now a runner at third, still with no outs. And we're looking at a 1-1 count to Villalobos. And that's one of the players you talk about, Estrada. If it gets anywhere kind of behind the catcher, you're looking at him to go.
Yeah, there's speed. One thing that this Hoppers team has is speed. I mean, pretty much top to bottom, minus 1 or 2 guys here and there. They're very, very fast. So when they do get on base and they're given the right calls as far as base running is concerned, they normally are pretty safe.
So a 1-1 count here. That is outside there to make it 2-1. The 2-1 pitch with the runner at third. That ball will be hit high near left center. It'll be tracked down and staying at third. It was a good throw as well, so smart decision. Staying at third there was Logvinov as Villalobos will fly out to center.
Yeah, you don't want to risk that when you only have 1 out on the board. I mean, there's no point in risking it.
No, not at all.
You still keep your guy at third base, and you hope to get it a little bit easier than that.
Sam Perkins now at the plate. You mentioned 1 out in a 4-2 ball game after 2 runs have been scored here to match the 2 runs by the Chiefs in the top of the 6th. Sam Perkins at the plate. He had a base hit earlier in the ball game, grounded out to the pitcher. And his last at bat, first pitch was outside for a ball, make it a 1-0 count. Second is fouled near the screen, as we've got a race between Reed Douglas and Nixon, the ball boy for the Hoppers. 1-1 count. Is a high pitch for a ball, making it a 2-1 count. One out, runner at third, 2-1 count. Sam Perkins is at the plate. The pitch, breaking ball high for a ball, making it 3-1. So a 3-1 count here. The pitch. And that'll hit Perkins in the back, and which advances him to first. And so now with 1 out, it's Reed Douglas. And runners at the current corners at first and third. It looks like it's going to be a meeting. And we do see a player coming from the bullpen for the Chiefs. Baseball is handed off. And it looks like we will see some new action here. So 1 out here. Another seems like to be a taller pitcher as well. So seeing another one of those for the Chiefs. But we'll recap Boone's performance, and we'll discuss the new pitcher coming up. We'll take a quick timeout as there is a 1 out for the Hoppers and runners at first and third. And this is Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Joe P.
And welcome back here. As a pitching, it'll be Jack Gothrop for the Chiefs. And Boone and the game was able to just throw 1 inning. Ended up giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, and threw 2 strikeouts. Reed Douglas is at the play here, again with 1 out, runners at first and third. And stealing third there is Perkins. The throw, that was close. They'll say safe.
Yeah, that was a close one, but the ball got out of the hands of the shortstop, who had to kind of run across the base to get to that ball. It was a little underthrown. And Perkins is also a very fast runner, so this is his 2nd stolen base in this game too, I believe.
And so An 0-1 count here. After that was a strike to Douglas. And just low there makes it a 1-1 count. We're in the bottom of the 6th, by the way. And we have a 4-2 ball game. The Hoppers currently lead the Chiefs. Hoppers batting right now. 1-1 count with 1 out. The pitch is chopped foul near the Chiefs dugout by third base. So a 1-2 count. The pitch. That ball chopped on home plate. And that'll keep the count at 1-2. We said we would do some research, and I just did it. We talked about Jack Bell. I said, I don't know, how tall did I say I thought he was?
6'3".
Did I say 6'3"? I thought I said like 6'4". No, maybe I did say 6'3". 6'5".
I was right.
So you called it.
I'll take my wins when I can get them.
1-2 the count. That'll be a fly ball headed towards center field. And it'll be Logvinoff staying at third base. And Douglas will fly out to center. And that's the second out of the inning for the Hoppers. Now Stephen Bell up the bat. He had a base hit, in his last at bat. And still runners at second and third here. The pitch is inside, and getting a nice lead off was Logvinov. He'll slide in. He scores, and it'll get past the pitcher there. Second baseman was there to track it down, or Estrada there. Not Estrada, but Perkins almost tried to make the go-ahead to run two.
Yeah, he thought about it. If the Paducah infield didn't come in to back up the pitcher there, then he probably would have.
And I believe Bell thought he was hit there, but he'll stay in the box. That'll keep it a 2-0 count.
Yeah, and that's another wild pitch. If that one's a little bit higher and goes into the netting, then Perkins would have came home as well. A little bit of a tense situation right now with this fresh pitcher.
5-2 ball game. That pitch is a low for a ball. In the right spot, just not the right height there. So 3-0 the count. You imagine Bell might not take a swing here. He does, and he'll hit one towards the left field, and it'll be fouled near the Chiefs bullpen. Stand corrected there, swung on the 3-0. Was a strike, though. It would have been a strike. So 3-1 now the count. Listening to Coach Davari by the dugout saying, let it come to you here. So, urging Bell to swing at something he really likes here with a 3-1 count. The pitch. And it's a strike as Bell was a few feet away from throwing the bat. And you know what? It looked pretty close to a strike. Yeah, I will say that.
Yeah, I mean,
it was pretty
it was
close in that
enough. It was close enough to call it. Height-wise, it looked like it may have been a little low, but you can't really complain about that one. However, you still can't give much leeway to these umpires who.
Full count. That ball will be a base hit to right field. And coming in to score is Sam Perkins. So make it 4 runs now scored in this 6th inning and make it a 6-2 ball game as the Hoppers are coming alive here into this 6th inning.
Yeah, and that was a perfectly hit ball by Bell. Knew where it was going right away, and so did Perkins.
His first pitch is fouled near first base.
I'll tell you what Luis Vergara wants. He wants a home run. He has yet to hit one so far since being on the Hoppers. Last year hit a lot of them. And so we're just itching on the tips of our toes here to see Luis finally get one this year.
0-1 count. That ball looks to be fouled, and it'll be fielded there. As Vergara will pop out to the first baseman for the third out, but end of that sixth inning, there were 4 hits, no errors, 1 left on base, and 4 runs scored. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, Hoppers lead 6-2, heading to the top of the 7th. This has been Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
It's a 6-2 ball game here in the top of the 7th. The Chiefs batting, Hoppers leading though. And for the Hoppers, it's John Gerard on the mound. The throw is a strike outside there. Batting is Gage Griggs. He struck out looking in his last at bat. That's a high pitch and outside to make it a 1-1 count. The 1-1 pitch. That ball will be a base hit in between the shortstop and third there into left field. Nice grounder there. And a leadoff single here from Gage Griggs. His second hit of the day, making him 2 for 3. Now Ben Brombaugh is at the plate as he is 0 for 2 on the day, and time is called as Reed Douglas is going to chat with John Gerard. Douglas comes back to first. So a 6-2 ball game here. Runner at first with no outs for the Chiefs. And it's Ben Brombaugh batting. Low and inside, a pitch there for a ball, makes it 1-0. On deck is Nate Lang for the Chiefs. After that, Austin Kreider. The pitch there is in the middle outside for a strike. 1-1 the count. Again, a left-handed pitcher is Gerard. The throw, that ball gets in the dirt. Douglas can't pick up the ball there as it got loose from him, but wasn't too far from him. And advancing to second is Griggs. So a 2-1 count now, with a runner now on second. The pitch hits home plate for a ball. So 3-1 now the count. 3-1 pitch. Dancing at second a bit is Griggs. The throw is a strike there, which makes the count full here. So full count with no outs and a runner on second. We'll see how Griggs plays this. And he'll stay at second, and that's a ball there, which walks Brombaugh. So runners at first and second now. As we do have some players in the bullpen for the Hoppers. Same with the Chiefs as well. First pitch is a bit high and outside, but called a strike for Nate Lang. Lefty on lefty action here from Gerard to Lang. And runners at first and second with no outs. The 0-1 pitch is called strike there. It's outside, so 0-2 now the count. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Ball gets loose a bit. They'll throw over to second. Now they'll throw to third, and we've got a bit of a pickle here. And they'll throw over to second.
Oh.
And they'll say safe.
I mean, you have to get that runner there.
As getting out of the pickle there was Gage Griggs. So there was the strikeout there to Lang.
And that was a smart play by Reed Douglas to make that throw and trap that runner at second instead of making it to first and possibly letting him get to third base. If you're the middle infield there and third base side for the Hoppers, you have to get that runner. Just defensive miscues there. The offense did its job, and now the defense just come out a little stale.
And a strike there called for Austin Kreider, the ninth hole batter. On deck is Sammy Kostranik for the Chiefs. That ball is low and inside. A nice job there from Douglas to get behind that ball. As Gerard makes the throw. That ball fouled behind home plate. Makes it a 1-2 count now. I was looking over at the bullpen, trying to make out who was over there. I think I did. I think I see Caden Wilburn, as well as some other pitchers, but Caden Wilburn stuck out. That was the jersey number I was able to make out. So 1-2 the count. Runner at first and second. The throw is a strikeout looking there, just a bit outside, but down enough for the strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts lead to 2 outs here with runners at first and second for the Chiefs. And Gerard will fake a throw over to second, step off of the mound. So 2 outs here. Up to bat is Kostranik. The pitch is called a strike there. Been a lot of strikes called. You talk about just if you manage not to hit the dirt or not to go super high, a lot of these pitches are being called strike.
Yeah, left or right, very big zone, not so much up and down.
0-1. And as I say that, Ump must have heard me, that outside pitch called ball.
Yeah, and that one was closer to being a strike than the last one that was called a strike too. You know, it makes you wonder what they're seeing that you're not.
1-1 the count here with 2 outs. The pitch is swung on and missed there. Low pitch swung on there, making it a 1-2 count here with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Kostranik ended up scoring in that 6th inning off of the 2-run homer. Was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. The throw there is high and outside, making the twos wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Again, a 6-2 ball game. Hoppers lead here. The throw is fouled on the skinny part of the bat there. Just staying alive is Kostranik. Count remains the same at 2 apiece. And another foul ball there as the ball will hit near home plate. As I believe they're saying Reed Douglas thought he caught it, or says he caught it. Ump says no, so no strikeout, just a routine foul ball. As Coach Davari is stepping out. I believe he wanted to have some words with the home umpire.
Yeah, and Reed Douglas tells him, "Coach, I didn't actually catch it. No need to come out here."
So a 2-2 count. A couple of fun frantics from Douglas. Now he did catch that one as that ball was tipped from the bat, but it was caught in the glove. So a strikeout there. And all 3 outs were strikeouts for the Chiefs, as there was just 1 hit. There were no errors. There were 2 left on base and a no run scored. It's the middle of the 7th inning as we look towards our 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Visit them today on Fort Campbell Boulevard and download the Chick-fil-A app for online ordering. Checking the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, we head to the bottom of the 7th. Hoppers lead 6-2. They'll be batting and sending their 4, 5, and 6 batters in the lineup. This is Hopper Baseball, brought to you also by Chick-fil-A.
Radio WHOP.
Dom Oliverio is at the plate for the Hoppers here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The pitch is swung on and missed there for the first throw. So an 0-1 count. 6-2 is the score here at Colonel Field. The Hoppers currently leading the Chiefs. 4 runs were a big part of this lead for the Hoppers as they found themselves in a tie ball game and ended up tagging 4 runs. A second swing and a miss there for the second pitch makes it an 0-2 count for Oliverio. He's struck out twice in this game. Looking in the second, swinging in the 5th. Trying not to suffer that same fate here with the 0-2 count. The pitch is fouled behind home plate. Keeps the count the same at 0-2. Hoppers looking to seek revenge here as they were defeated last night 7-6 by the Chiefs. The 0-2 is high for a ball. 1-2 the count. The throw is going to wind and drop in front of right field. So a single there from Oliverio, and he bounces back from an 0-2 count. So a base hit here puts Oliverio on first. And now up to bat, Carter Hood. Carter Hood has a base hit in his last at bat. He was also one of those 4 runs that scored. So he was the one who led things off in the 6th inning. As Robert Estrada, Artem Longvanov are next up for the Hoppers. The throw is low for a ball. So a 1-0 count, a runner at first. And he'll throw over to first as Oliverio is in time. One thing, too, that I'm kind of noticing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems that Davari is kind of a little more seen in this game. I feel like normally you might be sitting behind the fenced area and the dugout. He's been standing out there the whole time. That is something new, correct? I don't normally.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 games he had been coaching at third base. And so maybe he was thinking that he needed to start getting more into these games, and so tonight not coaching at a base. Those are his assistant coaches doing that tonight. But he is, like you said, out of the dugout in plain sight of his players, has approached the plate several times tonight.
As that'll be a base hit there as it goes in between short and third. And the Hoppers, that's been a sweet spot all day. Grounders right up there as Hood gets his second base hit of the day. Back-to-back base hits for him as well. So advancing to second is Oliverio, and going to first is Carter Hood. And the Hoppers keep hitting like this. It won't be long before they start getting higher in that hitting list as far as in the league. But
yeah, tonight has been an impressive hitting showing from them. They played well last night as far as offensively is concerned. Tonight they're kind of repeating some of that. Tonight they're doing a better job of bringing in those guys, though, which is what we talked about at the beginning of the game. So similar looks, but actually bringing the guys full circle tonight.
And you look at it, too, home runs. Hoppers are 10th in the league. They've had 2 all season. But when you play like this, you don't need the home runs. Of course, they're nice, but if you can get quality base hits, that's a strike called there to Estrada, making it a 1-1 count. If you can get quality hits like they've been getting, that's how you win ball games.
Yeah, and they've been doing it in every single inning. You know, there's some zeros on the board, but almost every inning they've had a hit, which 3 out of the 6 so far, not including this one, have ended in runs.
So in that first 2 innings, there were no hits from the Hoppers, but since then they've had at least 1 hit in every single one of their innings, as we were in the 7th here.
Also, something tonight that, you know, I've talked about over the course of the season is I haven't been very happy with their base running tonight, have been much better about not getting picked off in certain situations.
Yeah, a 2-1 count here, and you say that too. They've almost been a little bit more careful too. Maybe some risks that they could have taken. The 2-1 pitch here is low and in the dirt.
At this point in the season, they know who they can send to second base on a steal. There's a lot of fast guys in this lineup, but there's a couple that stand above the rest, like Sam Perkins has already stolen it twice tonight. It's just you start to learn more and more about your team. You don't try to make everybody on the team steal second base.
That's a strike there, excuse me, making the count full. So runners at first and second, no outs here, and a full count to Robert Estrada. He had a base hit in his last at bat. And that's an outside pitch there for a walk. So bases loaded here with no outs. And there's going to be a meeting at the mound. And we'll see if the baseball is handed And it is. So we will see a new player for the Chiefs, and it'll be the fourth pitcher for the Chiefs that we will see tonight. As 6-2 is the score. We have had 2 base hits in the 7th inning and a walk that has led to the bases loaded. As we will see who the new pitcher is for the Chiefs. Take a quick timeout. 6-2, the current score here in the top of the 8th inning. Or excuse me, bottom of the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th inning here. 6-2 the score. We'll be right back with more Hopper Baseball brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And welcome back here as the Hoppers currently lead a 6-2. Jamar Perkins joined by Ethan Alexander. And we mentioned it, the bats have been working very well in this ball game as we have a new pitcher coming in for the Chiefs. And with the bases loaded, as it's going to be, looks like Wright, number 32 for the Chiefs. Clayton Wright out of Eastern Illinois College. He's from Harrisburg, Illinois. Artem Logvinov is at the plate. He had his very first hit of the season an inning ago. And now he's facing the bases loaded here. The pitch is a strike called there. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. Florida is up to bat, and we have a tie ball game. It's 3-3. 0-1 the count. The pitch. Breaking ball. It's too low there. Makes it a 1-1 count with the ball.
So a different look here. Paducah's throwing out a pitcher who considerably slower throws than the last one we saw, but maybe a little bit better control, holding around that strike zone just a bit better. So, yeah, definitely a different look for these batters now.
Yes, that's a strike there. You mentioned it, not as much speed. He did show breaking ball in his first pitch. But if the Hoppers can get control of this speed with these pitches, I think they can do the same thing they were just doing. 1-2 the count. And that's a low ball strikeout there. As that ball hit the dirt and made Logvinov reach for that one. So that's the first out here. Now Miggy Villalobos is at the plate. He's 0 for 3 on the day, struck out twice and flied out to center field in his last at bat. So 1 out here with the bases loaded. The first pitch swung on and missed there from Villalobos.
The Hoppers were in this position a lot yesterday with bases loaded, no outs. Obviously, there's an out now, but there wasn't a moment ago. And they weren't able to convert on a lot of those. I believe they only got 1 run out of those scenarios. I think they saw it 3 or 4 times. Tonight, this is the first time I think we've seen bases loaded with no outs. See if they can do a little bit better.
And second pitch, or third pitch, should I say, is called strike there. Is a bit outside there. 1-2 count. And that'll be a check swing, and they'll say he went. That was another strikeout there with that last strike just being an outside pitch that had no business being swung on.
Yeah, these slow pitches are getting the best of these hitters who are swinging way too early. They're used to having to be kind of on their toes and swinging fast. The last two pitchers, honestly, the last three pitchers have been throwing fast tonight, and then this pitcher slowing things down, making them swing the bat early.
And first pitch there is a ball to Sam Perkins. Looks a bit familiar there. 1-0 the count. Again, bases loaded. And a swing and a miss there from Perkins. As like you mentioned, another late swing there. That is one thing you talk about changing the speeds. Yeah, it's slower. It might sound like it's easy to hit, but when you've been throwing or hitting speed all night, it's a lot more difficult, as that's a foul ball behind home plate, making it 1-2.
Yeah, especially for these first batters that are kind of having to see this for the first time tonight. We saw this last week against Muhlenberg, who threw a fast pitcher all night and then threw the slowest pitcher I've ever seen, and the Hoppers had no idea what to do with that pitcher. I mean, I don't think they got a single hit off the guy. And so it really is a strategic move to, after seeing speed all night, throw a pitcher who doesn't produce it.
2-2 count here. That ball is low and hits the chest of the catcher Kreider for the Chiefs. So now a full count here with the bases loaded with 2 outs. We'll see what happens here. You mentioned the control that the pitcher has had, as that ball will be fouled there. As Clayton Wright is the pitcher right now for the Chiefs. The pitch, that ball hit towards left field, and it'll be fielded there. And so that will do it. As tough break there for the Hoppers, having bases loaded with no outs. They'll leave all 3 on base. There were no errors. There was 2 hits and a no run scored as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Checking the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 6-2, still the score. This has been Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Local.
This is News Radio WHOP AM Hopkinsville and WHOP HD3 Hopkinsville.
It's top of the 8th inning action here. The Chiefs with some work to do as the Hoppers lead 6-2. The Paducah Chiefs are up at bats, as it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 batters starting things off. Will Gibbs will start things off here against John Gerard for the Hoppers. First pitch is swung on, no contact for a strike. Bottom of the 9th inning in the College World Series, 3-all the score there. As that ball will be hit towards right field, and it'll drop for a base hit. As it'll get a bit loose, and as that throw will actually go past the second base or shortstop Longvinov and go towards Hood at third. And if he had have went, did Gibbs, he would have made it to second base. But as the ball looked like it was going to get picked up there from Estrada, but kind of took some time there. But regardless, just a runner on first after the base hit from Gibbs.
Yeah, and we saw a communication error in the right field. It looked like Sam Perkins was going to be able to get under that ball and make the catch, and then something said from it looked like Robert Estrada made him hold off, and ball drops in right between them.
And Gerard will throw over to first, but that one is too high to Villalobos. So now going to second will be Gibbs.
Yeah, and that's just lazy. I mean, Gerard threw that ball almost, you know, that was when you're checking up on a runner and the runner goes back before you even make the throw. So, you know, go ahead and make the throw so you don't get called a balk. And he just absolutely threw that straight over the first baseman, which you can't really explain that one away other than not being focused.
And so it is Gunnar Bingham at bat. Coach Albin has come out to talk with the infield and Gerard. As I will say, I wanted to talk to you about that. You worked the game with Paducah Chiefs. You said you got some AC and a nice ventilated broadcast booth, but you probably don't get to hear the fans as well as we can out here, huh?
You don't get to hear the fans. You don't get to hear what players and coaches may be yelling at the umpires. You don't get to hear the walk-up music that well. You know, it is a different feel. It doesn't feel as like you're one with the environment, but you know, sometimes when it's 90 degrees outside, you don't want to be one with the environment.
A low pitch there for a ball. That is true. Has its ups and downs. So a 1-0 count here. Runner at second for the Chiefs. Gunnar Bingham at the plate. High pitch there makes it a 2-0 count. And that'll be a base hit as it goes towards right center. Trying to round in and will score here coming home, as it'll be a double there from Bingham, and Gibbs will advance to home.
And that was another weird look. I don't think if the outfield gets that ball earlier that the run doesn't score. But another weird look there is it almost looked like Estrada and Bell were flat-footed, thought that ball might go to Perkins. And, you know, they didn't really start running until the ball made it over Perkins' head, and that's why it got between them.
And you talk about that, too, the error from Gerard as he's going to come out. But it looks like Miles Green is going to come in. But if Gerard doesn't throw that error to first, you wouldn't have that runner at second and may possibly come in and score. So that makes it a 6-3 ball game. And it is going to be Miles Green coming in. So we'll let him warm up a bit and get some throws in and discuss what John Gerard did in the game when we come back. But 6-3 is what I'm looking at on the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard. The Hoppers lead. We'll come back for more top of the 8th inning action in a few moments. This Hopper baseball game brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
It's 6-3 here as the Hoppers are leading the Chiefs. The Chiefs currently at bat, and they have scored a run here And there's been a pitching change as for the Hoppers, Miles Green has come into this ball game as he replaced Gerard. As Gerard in this game was able to pitch an inning and a third, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, walked 1, and struck out 3. That 1 run was not earned either. I mentioned that. So runner at second here with no outs. Outside pitch there from Green makes it an 0-1 count. Green has pitched a total of 5 innings. He's given up 5 hits, 4 runs. He's struck out 5 and has walked 3. That's an outside pitch there. Back-to-back outside pitches and make it a 2-0 count. So no outs here.
Last time Frostman was in this position, he hit a 2-run home run, exact same spot. So this time a little bit more of an opportunity for him to walk. So maybe you almost kind of hope he does.
Yeah, 3-0 count here. Yeah, you're right. You might not want to throw Frostman something sweet.
Yeah, don't throw one down the middle to this guy.
The throw, it's outside. So Frostman will walk to first. And now up to bat, it's Javier Beal. Runners at first and second. Beal, a left-handed batter. That ball gets past Douglas, so advancing to second and third will be Frostman and Bingham. So now a 1-0 count with runners at second and third. Throw is inside there for a ball, making it 2-0. Just too much inside there. Was in the middle. Runners at second and third. 2-0. Is fouled behind home plate right in front of us. 2-1 the count. No outs here. Runners at second and third. A 6-3 game. The tying run is at the plate right now. That'll be a base hit in between second and third. 1 run will come in, but staying or going from second just to third will be Frostman. Bingham scores. Frostman at third, and a base hit there from Beal puts him at first base. And so now Gage Griggs will be at the plate. We are looking at a 6-4 ball game now with the tying run at first. Griggs had a base hit. He's 2 for 3 on the day. A single in the second, struck out in the fourth, and a single in the last inning in the seventh. The pitch from Green is a heater there for a strike. So an 0-1 count here. Again, no outs here. Runners in the corners at first and third. Miles Green is on the bump. As Green takes his time on the mound. The throw is high for a ball. Top of the 10th inning in Omaha. LSU up the bat. They have a runner at second. And a 1-1 count here, though. Runners at third. The pitch is going to bat broken, but it's going to go to second, and it can't be fielded for a double play. I think he was thinking about the double play first. Was Logvinov, and it gets past him, so a run scores there. off of the broken bat. Griggs gets another base hit, and I think that's exactly what happened. Logvinov saw the opportunity to get a double play and thought of the throw before the pickup, and it got past him there.
I'll tell you what, this Hoppers team, and we've seen this several times this season, you know, you would think that they would be very, very much, you know, wanting to win these games. They get in these positions where they're in a very advantageous spot and they play lazy and they think they have the game won, and then they start to make errors. And this inning is the prime example of that, and they've let the Paducah Chiefs get back in this game.
So Ben Brombaugh is at the plate now. That'll be a foul ball. First pitch was a strike, so that makes it an 0-2 count. You're like, I mean, you talk about giving up leads. It's been something that has been seen. You talk about that game on Thursday. That was a game you thought maybe they would get it done. I believe it was 6-2. And as that throw is high near the head of Brombaugh for a ball. So now a 1-2 count. We got runners at first and second in the 10th inning in Omaha as LSU is up to bat. And it's a 1 out. The 1-2 count. That's another high one there, making the count 2-2. Tell you what, Green is fighting in there, but there is some action in the bullpen, and another walked batter, a mishap could result in a pitching change. I see Cannon Anthony warming up. There's another pitcher as well. I can't make it out who it is. 2-2 the count. The throw is just a bit too high, makes the count full at 3-2. So 3-2, a 6-5 lead for the Hoppers. Runners at first and second. The full count pitch is a check swing. They'll say, did he go? They say he did go. And it's a strikeout. Is Brombaugh arguing, saying it wasn't anything but the bottom of the bat that was near the plate. But regardless, a strikeout there after the miscued check swing.
Yeah, and whether he was right or not, you know, he very well may have a case that he didn't swing. Whether he was right or not, the pitch itself was out of the strike zone. So, again, very dancing closely with walking another batter there and getting loaded bases with no outs if he were to walk. So, you know, the Hoppers may have lucked out on that one.
Nate Lang, he'll foul a ball near the screen by the visiting bleachers by third base. So 1-1 the count now. And you're right, that, I mean, it definitely looked close, but it was a ball, and that would have loaded the bases up. But instead, we have runners at first and second with a 1 out here. And a 6-5 ball game. The Hoppers lead. The throw is swung on and missed there, an outside fastball. It makes it 1-2. Nice throw there from Green. So a 1-2 here. And this is top of the 8th action. That'll be a hit towards the third baseman, and it's bobbled there from Hood. He'll try to dive in. And I believe, will they say out? They'll say out at third. So a nice job there as he dove head first there to try to make the tag, and he does it.
Yeah, and another bobbled ball, kind of scary, but Carter Hood, you know, that's where he was going. He again, you kind of think about that. I think they're thinking what they're gonna do next before they actually start, or before they actually worry about securing the ball. That time, Carter Hood lucks out. Instead of the ball getting past him, it drops in front of him, and he's able to grab it and dive at third. But still, a very, very close play.
And a nice situation as well, as there is no longer there isn't going to be a runner at third, just at second. So runners at first and second with 2 outs here. So a 6-5 here. The throw from Green is a strike there. Nice change up there. Makes it an 0-1 count. Austin Kreider, the 9th hole batter, is at the plate. With Kreider at the plate. As that second pitch is called a ball, is high and outside. After Kreider, there's only been one batter that has not been at bat in this inning for the Chiefs. 1-1 the count. The throw, broken bat, it'll go towards Green. He'll field it. He'll make the toss to Villalobos, and he'll make the tag, and that will do it. Another broken bat there. But the third out is a grounder towards Green. A nice job of him fielding and making the throw to Villalobos as we look towards what happened in that 8th inning for the Chiefs. So there was 3 hits, 1 error, 2 left on base, and 3 runs scored. As we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5 is the score here. Hoppers will be up to bat next. They'll send the 1-2-3 batters. They'll be at the top of the lineup as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. This is Hopper Baseball brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
WHOP.
And welcome back here. 6-5 the ball game as the Hoppers lead the Paducah Chiefs. Hoppers up to bat, sending their first batter of the lineup. It's Douglas. He'll show bunt, but it's fouled way past the third base line. So the count 0-1 here. Douglas had a double. It's his 1 hit of the ball game in the 5th inning. And had a fly out to center field in his last at bat in the 6th inning. That ball is hit towards the shortstop. It's fielded, thrown, and it's in time for the outs. Now Stephen Bell is at the plate. He is 2 for 4 on the day. He had back-to-back singles in the 5th and 6th inning. Didn't see time in that 7th. Now here's his chance here in the bottom of the 8th. Again, Stephen Bell celebrating a 19th birthday today. I know he'd love to celebrate with the win, as that's an outside pitch there for a ball. Stephen Bell, the left-handed batter. Breaking ball there, and that one's a strike. Just a little closer inside than that last pitch to make it a strike. So 1-1 the count. Second ball there in the count. 2-1. As Bell will call time. Step off a bit. We got some maybe going in his eye there. So a 2-1 count here. The pitch. That ball is hit towards left field.
That's trouble.
And it will be caught in short left field there for the second out. And so now Luis Vergara will get a chance here at the plate. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He had a pop fly. It's a first base. The ball that was going foul, I believe. As that'll be a low pitch for a ball. As Vergara will pick it up, give it back to the catcher. 1-0 count here. 2 outs. 6-5 ball game. The Throw is inside and a bit high for a ball, making the count 1-1. Checking the World Series game, it's 3-3 with the runner at first for Florida in the bottom of the 10th. And that ball will be a slow roller towards first. It'll be fielded, thrown, and tagged there from the catcher for the third out. A nice job from the Chiefs there. As that will do it for the bottom of the 8th inning. As there were no runs, no hits, no errors here. And checking the Manpower Hopkinsville scoreboard, 6-5 is your score. As we'll head to the top of the 9th inning. And the Chiefs will get one more chance here to either tie this ball game or take the lead. We'll head to the top of the 9th inning. This has been Hoppers Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
No matter.
And welcome back here. Jackson McTire has checked in this ball game. So we saw Balin White earlier in the ball game from Eastern Oklahoma State Community College, and that's where McTire plays as well, both pitchers. And so we saw White start things off. We'll look to see if McTire can finish things here. 6-5 ball game in the top of the 9th inning. 3 outs is all the Hoppers need to manage here to retire the Chiefs for the night.
And it's easier said than done. McTire obviously has been a very solid closer for this Hoppers team. So someone's going to do it. He's a good option. But the Chiefs have been, storming back into this game. They've done it twice now. They got back into it whenever they were down 0-2 for the majority of the game, and now they've gotten back into it when they gave up 4 to make it 6-2, and now it's 5-6. So this team is definitely has some perseverance.
And the Chiefs in a pretty good spot too, as they're at the top of the lineup. It'll be 1, 2, 3 to start things off here for the Chiefs.
And this has been a part of the lineup that they've scored from on a couple of occasions this game. Similar part of the lineup starting up when they had the 2-run home run.
First throw is inside for a strike to Kostranik. The 0-1 pitch from McTire. That'll be a shot towards second. Perkins will field it. He'll make the throw, and that's the first out. And Will Gibbs now on deck. Runners at first and second in the World Series for Florida in the bottom of the 10th with 2 outs. And inside pitch there for a ball to Gibbs. Gibbs had a base hit. He started things off in that 8th inning where we saw 8 batters in the lineup. Another inside pitch there near the face of Gibbs makes it a ball. So 2-0 the count. And we're going to head to the top of the 11th in the World Series. 3 outs there. And a strike called there. Just a bit low down the middle. So a 2-1 count. The pitch. A check swing, and he went. It was a low pitch there, and a nice job from Jackson to get Gibbs, excuse me, to bite there. So a 2-2 count. One out here in the top of the ninth. The pitch is a high one, but it's fouled. So the count remains the same at 2-2. And a swing and a miss there. Breaking ball inside. And that'll be the second out. One more is all the Hoppers need to end things here. As Gunnar Bingham. It's a player that the Hoppers have seen quite a bit of in these past two games, and a player that has been capable of hitting. Hasn't gotten a hit yet, or excuse me, may have gotten a hit in that last at bat. As that'll be a foul ball straight to the left of the bullpen of the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I think it's almost a little ironic. Last night, Bingham up to win the game for Paducah in the bottom of the ninth tonight to keep them alive in the top.
That ball hits the ground before it reaches home plate for a ball. That makes it a 1-1 count. And to correct myself, Bingham did get a base hit in his last at bat. So a 1-1 count here with 2 outs. And you're right, a very ironic moment here as the Hoppers can end things here with Bingham. The throw is swung on and missed, and they can start the claps here if they want.
And they will, you know they will.
1-2 count.
There's no if they want about it. These claps are coming.
Is there
A little
offbeat, trying to get a beat here.
Trying to find each other. But they're coming nonetheless.
I'm not sure they will. It is the 1-2 pitch here, and it's a chopper to second. Perkins will grab it. He'll throw to first, and that's the ball game there. As Perkins throws to Villalobos for the Hoppers, wins, and revenge is sweet as the Hoppers take down the Paducah Chiefs 6-5 in that ninth inning. It was a 3-up, 3-down scenario. The best way you can do it for the Hoppers. There was no hits, no errors, none left on base, and no runs scored. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, it was a 6-5 ball game. A nice job from the Hoppers, as we will have action tomorrow, and we'll mention that, but we're going to go ahead and take a timeout. Again, the final score, 6-5, Hoppers with the win. We'll come back, have our post-game show after this timeout. This broadcast is being brought to you by Chick-fil-A. As the Hoppers manage to get 10 hits on the day, but it was one of those games where, I mean, the Chiefs had 8 hits as well, and Hoppers ended up with 2 errors compared to the Chiefs 1, so it was a very tight ball game, and which represents the score. But in the end, the Hoppers come out on top in another 1-run ball game. Yesterday, it went the other way. The Chiefs ended up defeating the Hoppers 7-6. This one turns into a 6-5 win for the Hoppers. Jamar Perkins joined by Ethan Alexander. Ethan, tell me your thoughts on this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, almost a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday, competitive through and through. Paducah started off slow, but as soon as they got that big 2-run home run, they kind of consistently were good on offense for the second half of this game. Hoppers up and down throughout most of the game. Did just enough to hold them off, but, you know, it got a little bit sloppy at the end. You don't like to see that, but I'd say all in all, probably one of the better all-around games we've seen from Hoptown. Good pitching from the very beginning. You know, some high-low moments near the end, but pitching was good, and then obviously the hitting was one of the better games of the season.
And again, I want to note, too, that our game summary is brought to you by North Trust Insurance, serving Medicare customers with prescription drug plans, Medicare supplement plans, and Medicare Advantage. Visit them today at 305 North Drive or call 270-885-0811. And a game where the Hoppers, you look at it, too, when you talk about hitting-wise, there was multiple players with hits. I mean, you look at it, 8 batters had hits in this lineup, so that was something that you love to see if you're the Hoppers. You know, I believe it was actually 7 batters. Not that I look at it again, but the consistency. I feel like things are starting to click for this Hopper team. You know, we've seen some losses lately, but we've just seen better baseball from them. I think, you know, that's the key. We've seen pitching. They found their groove there. It looks like we're starting to see it. We see it hitting, and they have found the spots that they want to hit. They've seen the base running. It's all improved, and you look at a win like this, I look at it as a huge win. And as the Hoppers move more and more trying to get into that playoff contention, and they did a good job here to try to get even closer to that. But when you talk about moving forward, as we'll go ahead and mention tomorrow, it's a Sunday home game. Our first Sunday home game of the season, actually, is they'll play the Henderson Flash. What are some things that you see that the Hoppers, you know, can continue to improve on here? I mean, I think I'll go ahead and throw out one thing is keeping the lead and holding it. I think that's the thing that jumps out to me, probably to you too, as they ended up having, it was a 6-2? 6-2 lead is what they held, and 6-5, it gets scary. It's like they've done this multiple times. They've had the leads, and it's starting to get a little closer and scary. So that was something that I think that the Hoppers will definitely want to work on. But we'll go ahead and take a timeout. When we come back, we'll speak with Balin White, as it was his last performance on the day, but we'll discuss things in his Hopper season so far. Again, 6-5, the final score. When we come back, we'll have Balin White here and our post-game interview. This has been Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
And And welcome back here. 6-5 win. The Hoppers take down the Paducah Chiefs. Jamar Perkins joined by Ethan Alexander and also pitcher Balin White. Congrats on the win, Balin.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
So we heard from Coach Davari earlier in the pregame show before the game that this would be your third and final game as a Hopper. What's the plans for the rest of the summer?
Well, it kind of sucks because I would love to stay. You got a lovely team, love the coaches. The entire Hawkinsville is awesome, but I got to head back. I'm going to go home, make some money, try to hang out with my family a little bit before I have to go back to college.
I understand too. And your teammate too, as far as Jackson.
Yeah.
I know I know y'all probably still be in contact throughout the season.
For sure.
But walk me through this ball game. You ended up having 9 strikeouts to start things off. Pitched 5 and 2/3 innings. What was going through your head on the mound tonight?
Well, before the game, I really didn't feel that well, so I was just like, I'm going to go out there and give my team all I got. And it was a little bit more than what I thought I had, so I'll take it. It's all on Reed and Coach Mike calling pitches.
All right, and so talk to me, too, as far as you've been here, it's about halfway through the season, like you mentioned. You mentioned, you've been having fun. Talk to me about the bonds that you've made with some of these teammates.
Oh, it's crazy. I've went to college with some guys for 2 years, and I'm not near as close as I am with some of the guys on the team. It's just a great atmosphere here.
And then as far as just, like you mentioned, you pitched the 3 games. I'm sure you've done some stuff in practice. How do you feel that you've developed your game as far as moving forward towards your college season?
Yeah, well, this year at college I had a really rough year, couldn't throw strikes, so that was my biggest thing was to come here and try to get the command down, and it's definitely worked, just paying more attention during catch play and stuff like that.
All right, well, thank you. We appreciate you taking the time and wish the best for you going on your college season and the rest of summer, and thank you for your time here as a Hopper.
Thank you.
Again, Balin White here for the final time pitching for the Hoppers. 6-5 victory, as we'll talk more and discuss the player of the game and recap things here with Ethan coming up after this timeout. This has been Hopper Baseball brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
At Home with Gary Sullivan, Saturday mornings at 8 on Hoptown's News Radio, 99.3 WHOP.
And welcome back here for a final score, 6-5. The Hoppers take down the Chiefs in a game where the Hoppers managed to get 10 hits, double-digit hits. A nice sight when you talk about this team for the Hoppers. Is hitting has been something that has kind of come at a premium for them. So you like to be able to see it for them here, and a 6-5 victory. Again, Jamar Perkins joined by Ethan Alexander. Our player of the game is brought to you by Skyline Animal Clinic and Oak Grove Animal Hospital, who supports all the area schools, athletes, and students. Skyline Animal Clinic has been your source of veterinary care for small animals since 1956. Call them today for all your pets' veterinary needs. Ethan, who is our player of the game for today's game?
Yeah, we do have a player of the game, but I don't have any honorable mentions because the rest of the team did play very well. It was a very much spread out battle tonight as far as offense and defense is concerned. So honorable mentions is everybody but the player of the game. And then your player of the game tonight is Stephen Bell. Happy birthday to him first and foremost. It's 19th birthday today. Played very well. He was one of a couple batters tonight with 2 hits, but he also threw in those 2 RBIs. And he did not strike out, so a good night from Steven. He was near the top of the lineup. I believe he batted second, so he always helped get things started offensively for this team that needed it tonight. And so it's our pleasure to give the player of the game to Stephen Bell on his 19th birthday.
Stephen Bell, you mentioned it, a great way to celebrate. And not only a good performance, but a win. That's, I feel like, what's probably most important to him, to be able to see that win. So glad to see that. I want to talk about what's coming up for the Hoppers. We'll be back. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have the first Sunday home game of the season, as it will be tomorrow. And a note, too, that all Sunday games are at 6 o'clock. So normally we've been saying 6:15 for the pregame show all year, but this will be a 5:45 pregame show. So a note for that. It'll be a 6 o'clock start time. And again, on the Hoptown Hoppers TV, their YouTube broadcast, that will start at 6 o'clock sharp. But again, I want to thank all those for listening. I want to thank those who helped out in the broadcast, as always, Bruce Smiley, and I want to thank Ethan as well. And having a blank here, Jeff Sisk. I forgot my boss's name. I don't know how I did that. Jeff Sisk.
He'll get you for that one.
I want to thank him, as always, for the help that he puts in for the broadcast. But that's going to do it. Once again, final score is 6-5. And before we go, I want to look here. It looks like we have an update here on the LSU game, as I believe we have a final. Yeah, 4-3 LSU takes down Florida. So 4-3 ball game, as LSU will go up 1-0 in the series. But so one run ball game there and a 1-run ball game here. But the Hoppers get the win. They'll play the Henderson Flash tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, with pregame show starting at 5:45 on News Radio 99.3 FM, 1230 AM WHOP. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to remind you, as I always say, to call your loved ones and tell them go Hoppers.